Welcome to this beginner-friendly Blender tutorial. Today, I'll show you, step by step, how to model a dolphin fish just like this one. Whether you are new to Blender or brushing up on basics, this guide makes it easy to create your own stunning 3D model. Let's dive in and start modeling. Open Blender and delete the default camera and light, X to delete. Switch to the orthographic view, specifically on the X-axis. Add your dolphin reference image, either hand-drawn or sourced from the internet, and align it as needed. Use R to rotate and G to grab for aligning the reference image. Press Alt+Z to enable X-ray mode. In the Outliner panel, right side, enable the selectable option to control object selectability. Select the reference image G to grab and X to move it on X-axis and move it a little away from the cube. Now turn off the selectability of the reference image. Select the default cube and press Tab to enter edit mode. Scale the cube down, S to scale, and use G to grab and place it over the reference dolphin body. Press S and then Y to scale along the Y-axis. Press A to select all vertices, then right-click and choose Subdivide once. Switch to front view and press Alt+Z to enable X-ray mode. Select all vertices on the negative X side and delete them, X key, to set up for mirror modeling. In the modifier menu, wrench icon, click Add Modifier. Choose Mirror and enable clipping. Select the edge loops that correspond to the upper fin and align them as needed. Switch to front view, numpad 1. Create an arc shape that mimics a fish's profile from the front. Switch to side view, numpad 10, and enable X-ray mode, Alt+Z. Select the vertices on the right side, press E to extrude them to the mouth of the fish. Use S to scale and G to position the vertices accurately. Press Ctrl+R to add a loop cut. Scroll the mouse wheel to increase the number of cuts and add 2. Select the first loop and press S to scale it. Select this loop S to scale it up. Use G to slide the loop into place, confirming with a click. Add 2 more loops using Ctrl+R. Scale them using S to fit your reference. Use G to move these vertices into position as needed. Select this loop S to scale it down. Select the front vertices, go to front view, and use S+X to scale them on the X-axis. Then use S+Z to scale on the Z-axis. Inside view, select these vertices and press G to move them to the tail base. Use S to scale them down. Then E to extrude again. Scale on the Z-axis using S+Z. Select the 3 vertices at the tail, press G+X to move them along the X-axis. Select the outer vertex and use G to move it closer. Select these 3 vertices and use G+X to make that area thinner. To refine the body shape, add 3 loop cuts here using Ctrl+R. Next, let's move the vertices to better define the shape. We will add 2 loop cuts to the tail and align them to match the shape of the reference image. Use G to slide the vertices, G to move them, and S to scale them up or down as needed. Aim to match the reference image, but it doesn't have to be exact. Now, it's time to add another modifier, the subdivision surface modifier. Increase the viewport levels for better results. I will set it to 2. Returning to the tail of the fish, let's add a loop cut using Ctrl+R to define its shape. I'm using G to move and S to scale, adjusting the loops and vertices to match the shape of the reference image. Alt+Z to turn off the X-ray mode, and press Tab to return to object mode. Select the fish body and right-click to shade it smooth. Tab to switch to edit mode. Finally, realign the vertices to match the reference image by selecting each vertex and using G to move them into place. Try to align the vertices correctly, as these may be our final adjustments to the belly of the model. Take some time to match the head shape to the reference image. Move the vertices or the loops to achieve the desired result. In Edit mode, go to Face Selection by clicking on Face Select in the top left corner. Select the face in front of the upper fin, then press I to inset and B to keep the boundary. Inset slightly and click to confirm the action. Next, switch to Edge Select, select the edge, and slide it towards the boundary by pressing G twice, double G. In Face Select mode, select the face we just created. Go to Side View, press E to extrude, S to scale, R to rotate, and extrude it one more time. Use G to move it into place. In Vertex Select mode, align the vertices with the reference image, ensuring you are in X-ray mode, toggle with Alt plus Z. Look around, and you may notice that the shape is too wide. In Edit mode, move these vertices toward the boundary by selecting them, then pressing G and X to move them closer. Now, let's model the mouth. Select these vertices and press G twice, double G, to slide them down slightly to align with the mouth mark. Switch to Face Select, and select these faces. Press I to inset and ensure that the boundary is enabled by pressing B. Select the upper vertices and press G twice to slide them down. Make adjustments to the other vertices as needed. Select these faces and press I to inset one more time. Refine the shape of the mouth by adjusting the vertices to match the reference image. In Face Select mode, select these faces, press X, and choose faces to delete them. Select this vertex of the lower jaw, and in top view, extrude it 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. Now, turn off the visibility of the modifiers in the modifier menu on the right. Select these 4 vertices and press F to fill. Then, select the next 4 vertices and press F to fill. There is one extra vertex, press X and choose Dissolve Vertices to remove it. Select the last 4 vertices and press F to fill. Press Alt plus Z to turn off X-ray mode. Select these faces, press I to inset, and press B to enable the boundary if it's not already enabled. With these selected, press G and Z to lower them along the Z-axis. Select this vertex of the upper jaw, go to top view, and extrude it 1, 2, and 3 times. Press Alt plus Z to turn off X-ray mode again. Repeat the process of selecting 4 vertices and pressing F to fill. In Face Select mode, select these faces, press I to inset, then use G and Z to move them up along the Z-axis. In Edit mode, turn on Proportional Editing by pressing O or by clicking the icon. In the drop-down menu, make sure Connected Only is selected. Use the mouse scroll wheel to adjust the area of effect, expanding or minimizing it as needed. Press Z to constrain movement to the Z-axis only, then move the selection slightly downward. Now, move the upper jaw in the same way. This will mimic the fish's open mouth and create space to add teeth and a tongue. Select these vertices, press Shift plus D and Z to duplicate and move them along the Z-axis. Press P and choose Separate by selection. Go to Object mode, select the arc, and right-click to convert it into a curve. Next, let's model the tooth. Press Shift plus A to add a cube, move it to the side, and shape it into a sharp, conical tooth similar to those of a dolphin. Add Subdivision Surface modifier and in Object mode shade it smooth. F2 to rename it. Switch to the Geometry Node Editor workspace. Select the path or curve, press F2 to rename it, then click New to create a geometry node tree. Press Shift plus A to add a curve to Points node, and Shift plus A again to add an Instances on Points node. Drag the tooth object from the outliner into the node editor. If the nodes disappear, select the curve object in the outliner to make them reappear. Connect geometry to instances. If the teeth don't appear in the correct location, select the tooth, right-click, and choose Set Origin to Geometry to resolve the issue. Adjust the scale to fit the model, and increase the number of teeth as desired. You can still edit the tooth shape, and scaling it in Edit mode will also affect the teeth on the curve. Press Shift plus D to duplicate the teeth. Right-click and choose Set Origin to Geometry. Then, inside View, press R and enter 180 to flip the teeth. Use G and R to position them in place, and adjust the scale as needed. If the mouth looks too wide or narrow, adjust it in Edit mode by moving the vertices. You can also edit the curve by selecting the teeth, pressing Tab to switch to Edit mode, and adjusting the points of the curve to your liking. Adjusting the mouth shape, let's grab and move these vertices down and move these a little up. Now let's model the eye sockets. Press I to insert this face twice, then G and X to move it slightly inward. In object mode, press Shift plus A to add a cube, and then Tab to enter Edit mode. Scale it down with S, and use G to move it into place. Enable X-ray mode with Alt plus Z, then rotate with R to match the reference fin. Scale it down again with S. Press E to extrude the vertices once. Let's align the vertices to form the shape of the fin. Then add a subdivision surface modifier. Since it's fairly wide, press A to select all, use S and X to scale it along the X-axis. Press A to select all, then G to move it into place. In front view, rotate it with R since the fins are not completely straight in reality. As we see the edge of the fin, let's select these vertices and extrude them once more. Then use G to move them a little inward. Shade it smooth. For the other fin, add a mirror modifier to this fin and use the dropper tool to select the fish body as the mirror object. For the eyes, in object mode, add a UV sphere and lower its resolution. In edit mode, scale it down. Press / to isolate it temporarily. In top view, with X-ray mode enabled, select these vertices and delete them with X. Press / again to bring back all objects. Scale it down with S and use G to move it into place inside view. Scale it down slightly more if needed. In top view, move it outward with G and X, then rotate with R to align the rotation. Adjust the size, position, and rotation from different views. Add a mirror modifier to the eye and use the dropper to select the fish body as the mirror object. Shade it smooth. If we move the fish body, the separate objects will be left behind. To fix this, let's parent these objects to the fish body. Let's start with the lower fins. Select the fin first, then the fish body, and press Ctrl plus P and choose Object. Remember, the order of selection is important. Now select the eye, then the fish body, and press Ctrl plus P and choose Object. Similarly, select the lower teeth, then the fish body, and press Ctrl plus P and choose Object. Lastly, select the upper teeth, then the fish body, and press Ctrl plus P and choose Object. With this done, now all the separate objects are parented to the fish body, and if we move the fish body, all these parts will move with it. And with that, the fish modeling tutorial comes to an end. Stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe for more.